Jordan. I'm the council representative for the 2nd District, which includes VCU, the Fan, Scott's Addition, Broad Street, a number of areas, Jackson Ward, Carver. You get the picture. It's a large, diverse district, and I've been very honored to serve it. So I'd like to talk a little bit about how RBA Richmond can work together with VCU. You are a big part of our city. You're our residents, you're our community, you're our industry, you are large property owners in the city. So how many people here are students? If you could just raise your hands. Awesome, terrific. And then I'm guessing we've got some faculty and just interested neighbors and allied groups. So terrific. To the students in the room, you guys have so much power. You can't be fired. I don't have that luxury. Many people don't. You can be vocal, you can be persistent, you can be slightly irritating, but you can continue to push forward on these topics of great importance that the data is clear. So I'm going to talk about a few ideas of how your personal actions, and I think everyone in this room probably is an expert on this, but it goes without saying, our personal actions and commitments do form a larger effect. And so things like, particularly at scale, if you can get your whole student body. Right now, freshmen are not allowed to have cars on campus. Can you get together and have it be all undergraduates are not allowed to have cars on campus? Can you go to the dining community and say, we want a plant-based diet predominantly here at VCU? Can we ban single-use plastics, herbicides and pesticides? Can VCU, we're looking at you, we want you to divest from fossil fuels. So there are so many things, and these are all things that you have got allies out there that know the word. Don't be intimidated. You don't have to be an expert on any of these topics. There are groups that are zero focused in on this. I couldn't have done your presentation, but you know all that data, and I'm grateful that you're here because we can reference it now. So one, your personal actions scaled with other students. You can lobby VCU on these issues like single-use plastics, but you can also lobby your elected officials, people like me. At every level, it is critical. Yesterday was really disappointing, and I hope folks know you can't just vote in the presidential election. You've got to vote in the primaries, because that's who ends up being on the ballot. You've got to vote on those ballots, and you've got to vote at the local level. Right now, I don't know what will get done at the General Assembly once the Republicans are in charge. But I know that I have a little bit of control of trying to push through things at the local level. I wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for people who said, you know what, I'm going to vote for a candidate who I know has done the green work, I know who's made that priority, and who will continue to work on City Council. So please, please, please make sure that you are also politically active. We cannot afford to ignore politics, as off-putting as it is on almost every single day. So I thought I would give you a little bit of my insider advice on how to lobby. So, and this goes from the General Assembly down to folks like me to people in your administration here at VCU. One, keep it positive. There is so much negativity, and people are coming at all of us with things that we can't help them with. So try and keep it positive is number one. Two, I really believe you can accomplish anything if you don't care who gets credit. Come to them. We would love for you to be a champion on this issue. Get them excited about being that persona. Let them share in the work. And find out take the time to research what motivates them. It might not be the fear of the collapse of civilization or the rising asthma rates. They need to be more focused on the budget, the next budget. Can you go to them and make the case of why green measures are less expensive in the long run? Figure out what works for them. Have tangible examples and data. There is so much data out there. When I was trying to lobby for the green fleet at the city, the Richmond Ambulance Authority has solar ambulances. Their batteries on their ambulances are solar powered. They've been doing that since 2016. So while I have been hearing in all these budget cycles, we can't look at green fleet right now because, right now our need is really with our first responders, and you don't want to You don't want to take a risk with, our first responders being able to go out on police calls. If we can trust our ambulances to solar charged batteries, I think we can trust the rest of our fleet. So make that case, figure out what speaks their language, have some good examples. Because I talked to the fleet manager, he was just trying to solve an issue, a problem. The ambulance batteries were not reliable enough, and fuel costs were a problem. So the solar powered batteries not only required less maintenance, but they saved on fuel costs. So those two things, I can tell you, when I talked about more reliability, lower fuel costs, that's when the fleet person at the city started to listen. So again, research who you're talking to, keep it positive, figure out what their pressure points are, and keep it personal. And by that I mean, it is really easy to click a link on an Instagram post for a topic. If you really care about that issue, figure out where it's going and take the time to write a personal email. Because elected officials are getting thousands of those and they just don't have the impact they used to. So if you really care about something, and I know that people in this room do, take the time to try and get folks to write the personal emails, and it doesn't have to be long. Hey, I don't support this, please look at XYZ, I hope you will pass XYZ, whatever. Try and figure out constituents within that group. Elected officials are going to listen a lot more to folks in their own district, their own voters. And they listen a lot to VCU voters. Second district, my district, this district, we will be out at the polls. We want you to vote for us. And so you have a lot of power. Make sure you're using it. Also, I would say, look for your allies. There are other groups that have similar interests. The more that you can get those groups together, the stronger your message is going to be. You don't have to agree on everything. You can be working together on one issue and on different sides on another. But the more you can bring other groups together, the more effective you're going to be. And I think I'll just again close with, you guys have so much power to do good work. You're here, you know the issues, you care. Thank you so much for being here, and please, please, please vote.